Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Deborah Dickson, and I am the host of Our Voices. Today I have as my guest our very own Vallejo's Poet Laureate, Genea Brice.
Yes.
And I'm so delighted to have you as my guest today, Genea. We have gone back and forth for many, many years. I've had the pleasure of knowing you and watching you as a young lady growing up, and it's just been an absolute pleasure. Let's talk a little bit about your roots here in town. I think you were around about in the same age as one of my younger sons.
Absolutely. So I'm delighted to be here, Miss Dixon.
Oh, Deborah, please. You're finally, listen, you're finally adult enough to call me that.
You're right.
Right.
But yes, raised here. My family moved here when I was in the kindergarten.
Okay.
So I got here, and my roots are deep in Vallejo.
Yes.
I remember my grandparents living on Magazine Street.
Yes, yes.
Picking the plums and the blackberries across the street. My grandfather worked at Food Basket for years.
And his name was?
Henry Mitchell.
Everybody knew Henry. Everybody loved Mr. Mitchell. They loved him.
Yes, yes. We just loved. I have such fond memories growing up here in Vallejo. Absolutely. So lots of cousins, wonderful school experiences. Vallejo is my town.
That is great.
It's my town.
I am so happy to hear that.
Thank you.
And I understand that when you graduated from
Hogan High School.
From Hogan High School, okay,
1988.
Which is now a middle school. Yeah,
It
that's all right.
is.
You can date yourself because see, I'm
know.
even older, so we can go back.
And I'm proud, so that's all right.
I can remember when your mom actually owned a store downtown on Georgia Street.
Absolutely, lovely lady.
There it was.
Yes,
there it
her
was.
clothing store.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, you forgot about that, didn't you?
Oh,
Yeah.
shout out to Mom.
No, I remember because I bought some outfits from your mom. Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, that's the lovely thing about Vallejo is having our young people grow up and have these great memories about this town and how they grew up here, and then to come back here and raise their family, which is what you did, right?
I did, absolutely. And speaking of history, though, I forgot to mention my Uncle Sam Mitchell.
Okay.
Used to cut hair.
That's right.
Next door to the Navy City Elks.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
He and Mr.
right.
Dotson.
That's
yes.
right. Bob Dotson.
Absolutely.
That's right. Bob the Barber and Mr. Mitch.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
everybody always called him Mr. Mitch. Oh, he did such a great job.
I think so.
Such a great job. People can talk about Mitch for absolute years, and he is still missed today. He did such a wonderful job.
Thank you for that.
Well, you know, being here in Vallejo for this length of time, and I think you went away for a while, and then would you go to school?
I did, yes. I went off to school to Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Yes, had a wonderful time there. Met some more family members.
Okay.
In Atlanta and outside in Decatur. Switched schools, went to Cheney State University.
Okay.
Came back, got married.
Okay.
Oh, wow, yes.
And you have how many children?
I have 2 children.
Okay.
Yes, yes. My daughter's 22. She's relocated to Dallas, Texas. My son, Larry Jr.
Okay.
Graduated here from Jesse Bethel
Oh,
in
wonderful.
the summer, in June last year.
Okay.
Well, this year.
This year, June
Yes,
of
yes, yes.
2015.
Absolutely.
Oh, wonderful. A recent graduate of Jesse Bethel.
Yes.
VCAT Studios are located on the campus of Jesse Bethel.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, yes,
I'm
so
glad
proud.
to hear that.
Thank
you.
you.
Should be. You should be. And so now I understand that your daughter's married and you're soon to be a, what's the G word? It's my favorite word, though, really.
Grandmother.
Okay, let me tell you something. There is nothing better than being one.
I hear that.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
You're going to enjoy it immensely.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, okay, when you came back, you and your husband settled here,
Yes,
and
yes.
you moved from which area?
We were in Oakland.
You in Oakland?
Yes, where we pastored a church. Actually, he pastored a church in Oakland for 20 years.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Talk a little bit about that experience as being the pastor's wife for
Amen.
20 years.
Yes. In fact, my first book,
Uh-huh.
Weaned in the Desert,
Okay.
it's autobiographical, and it talks a lot about being a wife, a mother, and first lady of a church. Where you simply have to pray because you can't fight people.
No.
You can't slap the people in the church. You can't do that.
No, that's not a good. That's
Yeah,
not
they
a good
frown
look.
on that.
That's not a good look.
So much prayer, much power.
Yes. Yes. And I'm sure that knowing you and your beautiful little personality, you prayed a lot.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Now
you
that's
did.
serious.
You
Yes,
did. You absolutely
certainly
did. So that was
Yes.
your first book. When did you write that book?
It was published in February 2010.
Okay.
Yes. Should I hold it up,
Why
Miss
don't
Deborah?
you? Yeah.
Why don't we? Weaned in the Desert.
Okay.
This is my first book.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
How's that? Yes.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And it is you gotta say that word.
Autobiographical.
There you go. And it talks about your life growing up here in town, and then or just as a pastor's wife and mother.
Oh yes.
coming up.
So actually, we It talks about my life from, and actually, let me go ahead and pick that up once again. It talks about my life in Vallejo, transitioning to Oakland. There were some years in there where we lived in Richmond. So there are some, the stories are actually kind of funny because it just talks about the things that a mother goes through when you have young children.
Yes.
And the funny stuff about trying to get people to eat oatmeal when they don't want to eat oatmeal.
Yes.
You know, and then as they grow and you watch their different stages, and so it's funny,
Yes.
but also poignant. There's some serious topics in there, but hopefully people will be inspired.
I'm
Yes.
sure that they will be because as a mother and as a grandmother of 6,
Wow.
it is an absolute honor and a privilege to watch your children grow and expand. And you know, while I haven't watched you from a baby, I've watched you from a young woman
Yes.
blossom into this poised, confident, beautiful young lady, and it really is a joy. It
Thank
really
you.
is.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
I appreciate the growth. Now, this other book that you bought
Yes.
to talk to us about, now this was a book that your mother wrote?
Absolutely. So may I just
Please.
pick that up? So
Please.
this one is called Garnets and Blackberries. It's Poetry 1. So just to give a shout out about that, growing up, our house was very lyrical. There was music, and somebody was always writing books, and somebody was always writing something about speeches, and there were always somebody getting ready to sing a song. So there was words and language everywhere.
Yes.
So the fruit don't fall
Too far from
the
the tree.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So my mother wrote her book in the late 90s, and so then she dedicated it to her only brother, Sonny Mitchell. I don't know if you all remember him.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
So her late brother, my dear late uncle. But so as she wrote, the fire of poetry was just ignited again in me.
Yes.
So, you know, it's
That
a
just
part of my
leads-
life.
That leads me into the question that my next question I was gonna ask you was, did this start at a very early age, or did you get this interest in poetry when you were, you know, in high school, or
growing up.
Just growing up?
Growing up,
That was
somebody
around the house?
Absolutely. Somebody was reciting Psalms or Proverbs, and somebody else was trying to rap over in the back.
Yeah.
There was language everywhere.
Yes.
So I can remember trying to write plays in the 7th grade.
Really?
And, oh, yes. Skits and plays and dramas, and I was trying to be somebody's teacher way back then. So, yes, it was a part of our life growing up.
And speaking of teacher, I understand you are currently a teacher of our wonderful babies. Tell me about that.
So my teaching career actually started with my teaching kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade in Oakland at the Dr. Herbert Geis Christian Academy. So taught kindergarten for years, then I taught a K-1 combination, then back to kindergarten, and it was a fabulous time for me. We moved here to Vallejo, where I subbed K through 12 for 2.5 years. I followed my kids, and I was keeping an eye on them.
I was going to say, it's no better than being able to keep an eye on your kid and getting a paycheck too, huh?
Absolutely.
That works.
That worked. And then from the Vallejo City Unified School District, I was able to sub at North Hills.
Okay.
So my children transitioned there, and I was subbing and watching them there too.
Right.
Now, I thought it was wonderful, but if you ask them,
well,
maybe not.
Maybe not so much now, but I can tell you in years to come, it's going to be appreciated more than words can even express.
Thank you.
I know that.
I appreciate
that.
Yes.
So you're teaching you at a preschool? Or?
Yes. So now I'm at Noah's Ark Christian preschool daycare. So it's early education, emphasis on pre-kindergarten.
I see.
So actually starting them out with a firm foundation, because I know that statistically, if a child can't read by third grade, it's pretty sad for them.
Yeah.
So I make sure we get the building blocks of phonics and phonemic awareness, that is, knowing that for every letter there is a sound. And for every sound, that builds words. So if you can recognize letters, sounds, and eventually words, you're on your way.
Look at that. And again, it's walk right into your teaching, right into your words, right into poetry and all the lyrical and all of that's just absolutely fantastic. Obviously, that's what you were meant to be.
Oh, now I believe that.
You know,
there's nothing greater than walking in your purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I understand that you do a lot of motivational talking and give speeches to not only to churches but to other organizations.
Yes,
is that correct?
yes. I am also a Christian conference speaker / motivational speaker / women's speaker.
Okay.
So I've done a lot, especially for the California State Baptist Convention, which is coming up again this month. But not only that, just I go where I'm needed.
Okay.
I go where I'm needed.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And I understand now that most of your family has relocated back to Dallas, and
yes,
and that's a new opportunity
it is.
For the family.
Looking forward to that. As a matter of fact, my husband, daughter, and son-in-law are there. They're in Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
My husband has started a new church, Eastgate Fellowship International, right outside of Dallas in Duncanville. So looking forward to being there, but I have some work yet to do here. Okay.
Yes. Right. Yeah. I know you do. Yes. We were talking about, I remember you and I shared a trip with the Vallejo City Unified School District parents earlier in the year. Went down to San Diego to the CASA conference. And you were talking to me then about your love of poetry and how you have been working with trying to get Vallejo interested in having a poet laureate, that other cities had that. You'd done a lot of research, you'd done a lot of background work, and I remember encouraging you and telling you that perhaps you just had knocked on the right door. Do you remember that conversation?
I do. We were on the plane.
Yes. Okay.
How I remember. So yes, being named Vallejo's first poet laureate is such an honor.
This just happened in...
Yes, in July 28th, 2015. Okay. Absolutely.
All right.
So I want to thank you personally for that nudge that you gave me on that plane. It was not a subtle nudge either.
No, I don't know how to be subtle.
Those of you who know Deborah Dickson.
Right.
But this journey actually started 3 years ago. And so what I looked at was the fact that Vallejo birthed a lot of very talented people.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
The entertainment industry, athletics.
The sports industry.
Absolutely. And just...
the literary world.
Yes, yes, journalism. And I thought the arts, although they have been subtracted from our schools, they're still here.
They are.
And we have so many talented people. I said, why doesn't Vallejo have a poet laureate? I heard about Benisha's poet laureate. I heard about Fairfield's poet laureate. And I met them. Wonderful people. But I said, Benisha's lovely, Fairfield is lovely, but Vallejo is lovely too.
Yes, we are.
I said, where is our poet laureate? So I began a 3-year journey by visiting Benisha's first Tuesday night poetry gatherings. I met some wonderfully talented people there. But again, I said, they're lovely, but why can't we get the ball rolling in Vallejo? My town, what's going on? So for a year, I sat with them, I researched, I pulled things off the internet, had interviews one-on-one with Benisha's first poet laureate, Mr. Joel Fallon. He took me under his arm, under his wing, and he said, this is what you need to do. Starting at A, you need to dot every I, cross every T, meet with the mayor. Meet with city council, rub shoulders with the mucky mucks in the art and entertainment industry in your city. And he said, no matter what it takes, keep knocking on the right doors. 3 years later, 3 years later.
With your tail feathers dragging at 3 years. But you see, all of that work that you put in, Genea, just what I told you, all the work that you put in earlier came to fruition on July the 28th of this year.
Yes.
And I'm so proud of you and the fact that you never gave up.
I did not.
And you wanted this not just for yourself, but for your city.
Absolutely. And I made that clear. I said, we need a poet laureate program. I don't necessarily need to be the poet laureate, though I will stand with the best of them.
You appreciate it.
I appreciate it. But I just wanted the program so that I could, or whoever, would go into the schools and expose children who would perhaps otherwise not be exposed to the lyricism of Maya Angelou or Dr. Seuss or, you know, Robert Frost, and just to hear Shakespeare. So if they wouldn't be exposed otherwise, I would gladly take it upon myself to expose them.
Well, I think you have just done a fantastic job with that. And I know that you have, is it the fourth Wednesday? Talk a little bit about when your Poet Laureate group meets.
Absolutely. So I was blessed through the John F. Kennedy Library to be able to meet with poets the fourth Monday.
Oh, the fourth Monday.
Yes,
okay.
of each month. And so we've been meeting since August.
August, okay.
Fabulous, fabulous time. We meet in the Joseph Room.
Okay.
Yes, so.
At what time?
Yes, 6:30 to 8:30.
Okay.
Small group for now. We're growing.
Of course.
Yes, we're growing.
The word has to get out. And so
Absolutely.
people come, and do they read their own poetry, or do they listen to poetry that you've maybe you might read or you've written?
So it's a little bit of both.
Okay.
It is open mic.
Oh.
For whoever wants to come and share their own works. They can read from whatever poetry books they would like to. Impromptu spoken word. A slam session if you want to.
Oh, okay.
If you feel like rapping, rap. But it is really open to the public to come and share whatever it is you have.
That is wonderful.
Thank you.
And I am so sorry that I missed that wonderful reception. I heard about the wonderful reception that the city of Vallejo held for you.
Yes.
Was that September?
Yes, it was late September. Yes, during
September.
the art walk. Yes, which is fabulous, by the way.
Oh, listen, I try to attend those art walks every second Friday because you're talking about fun. If you want to really know your town and get to, you know, just to get out. And people say that there's nothing to do in Vallejo. There's so many things to do. My friends and I are going to be meeting this second Wednesday coming up because at the Empress Theater.
Yes.
We go there and we dance, you know. You have a live band and you laugh and you talk and you listen to people and you come out and you can really enjoy yourself.
Absolutely.
So as you continue to grow, are you going to read some poetry for us?
Oh, sure. I would be honored to do that.
I would love to have you either recite one of your own or you can choose.
Yes, I actually have two if you don't mind.
I would love that.
I'll grab this one. This
All right.
is, I was just recently published in an online anthology.
Okay.
It's called Poeming Pigeons.
Okay.
And they're poetry all about birds.
Okay.
So I decided to go ahead and submit, and they chose mine.
That's wonderful,
Yes.
Genea.
Yes.
I mean, all kinds of beautiful things are happening for you.
I am just delighted.
And I know this is going to air after your birthday, but happy birthday to you, darling. It's just,
Thank you.
I know your family was so excited, and I was so happy to be able to wish you happy birthday, and I know you had a wonderful, wonderful day.
And in fact, it was yesterday, but I'm celebrating all month.
There you go.
I feel good.
Take the month.
I feel good.
Take the month.
46 is fabulous, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it's 66. 2 snaps to you.
Yes, so if you don't mind, I will read. So we were asked to write a poem or poems about birds. So this one is called Hummingbirds in C Sharp. I hear strumming in the string section, humming coming from that direction, sheer flapping of tiny wings, clear clapping from shiny things, humming, yes, but she also sings because she knows the words. As she hovers, I am amazed at the ground she covers, all the while assuring her lovers that nectar awaits.
Oh, that is just fabulous. Hummingbirds are my favorite.
They're my favorites too.
You know what? Yeah, I think it's just most women are universally, we just love hummingbirds.
They are
fabulous. I've got wind chimes, hummingbirds. Me too. Little hummingbirds all over.
Me too. And what I was fascinated to find out is that hummingbirds really don't flap.
No.
They do.
They hover.
And they do figure eights.
Oh.
Their wings are this way.
Oh, really?
They are beautiful.
Oh, they are absolutely
Aren't they?
wonderful.
I didn't come on to do all that.
Yeah, but that was good.
I feel that.
Look, and you know what? Yesterday, when I was teaching a class, I spoke to someone about Patti LaBelle, what she was saying. She said, well, that's Creole she was speaking. I said, you mean all these years we went and we didn't know that she was, I thought she was just making the words up.
The Lady Marmalade?
Yeah, I thought she was making the words up.
What has that to do?
It's that you learn something new every day.
You do, certainly.
And I didn't know
Lady Marmalade.
No, hummingbirds made the figure
They figure eight. Their wings figure eight.
You learn something new every
day. Isn't that beautiful, though, when you think about it?
It is absolutely beautiful.
Yes. So if I may,
please.
I have one more, and it's actually on my phone because I carried it with me, honestly. When I was thinking about my upbringing, and the fact that though we live here in California, many of us have roots down south.
That's true.
So I have some family in New Orleans, Louisiana. And so we met some of them when I was down there when my daughter went to school at Xavier. So I penned a poem called Emeritus.
Okay.
And it goes like this. To me, the trees in New Orleans look like ladies with tattered sleeves on ancient dresses, flowing like lingerie. Their hems and slips skirt the waters of old Pontchartrain. Long, coarse hair on tall, proud heads, tightly coiffed yesterday. Simple strands now swing and sway to the sounds of Zydeco, waiting for callers who never come. Yet they stand, still offering shade and a hiding place.
That is just fantastic.
You are
just. You know what? I went to New Orleans,
yes.
And I stood on the banks of the Pontchartrain, and that was such a description of that whole area.
And that's what poetry seeks to do. It's different than the essayist or the person who simply writes for the sake of writing. Poets try to summon a feel. They try to make you feel as though you were there. So if I've done that, thank you.
You absolutely did your job.
Thank you.
That was just fantastic because it was. I spent 10 days down there. The first time being that deep in the South and New Orleans, and it was the and it was the year before Katrina.
Fabulous. Yes. Coming the year of and the year after wouldn't have been the same experience.
It would not. Absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Well, Genea, I just want to tell you what a pleasure that it has been to have you on this show today.
My pleasure.
You have, at Christmas time, at this holiday season time, I always like to end out the year. I have been blessed to be the host of the show now. This is the third year.
Fabulous.
And the people that I meet and the topics that we talk about, they seem to reach an audience. They seem to really reach people on that level. And I know that having you here today and the things that we talked about as mother to mother, as grandmother to a soon-to-be grandmother,
absolutely.
As woman to woman is just absolutely just invaluable,
yes.
I think, to a lot of people, and most especially to me. Now, this last book, we're going to be wrapping up here, but I'm going to give you a second to talk about that.
Okay, thank you. And this is an anthology that I was blessed to be in through the Benicia First Tuesday poetry group. I actually had several of them in here. And one of them that I just would like to end with is something kind of funny.
That'd be great.
This one is called Geometry.
Okay.
It was not my favorite topic in school. However, I got through it. But this one has a more adult spin on it.
Okay.
So, geometry. It was geometry. The angle of his shoulder, the line of his jaw, to say nothing of the points of intersection. Parallel, perpendicular, perfectly spectacular, Thank you, Pythagoras. But my theory is the shortest distance between 2 points is breath.
Oh, you are so right.
Thank you.
Oh, that was absolutely wonderful.
Thank
and
you.
That was very adult.
Yeah, I think that's
like
a
that.
little.
That was very adult. So real
Thank
quickly
you.
again, I want you to talk about when we can come and hear some of your poetry again. The
Yes.
fourth Mondays at...
Absolutely. The fourth Mondays of every month. We are foregoing this month because of Christmas.
Well, of course.
Enjoy your families. But starting in January, the fourth Monday in every month, at the John F. Kennedy Library, 6:30.
Is that the Joseph Room?
Yes, in the Joseph Room. Thank you. From 6:30 to 8:30, come. We invite the entire city. Bring your friends and your family. Bring them.
Bring them all.
Yes.
Bring them on.
Yes.
Bring them.
Bring your own poetry or the poetry of others. We're just going to gather to have a good time.
That is so wonderful. And
thank you.
Thank you for taking that time to, the teaching just comes through naturally, to really explain the difference of poetry and what poetry is meant to. Because poetry means different things to so many different people. But that was such a succinct description of what poetry really is. It evokes a feeling.
It does.
And as you say these things and you read these words and you hear these words, you're transported, to a place. And so I want to thank you for that.
Thank you.
I want to take this time now to thank and wish all of the crew that works here so hard with me at VCAT Studio. I have been super, super blessed to have a wonderful crew here. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys. You always make me look good. You always shoot my good side, okay? That's real important in TV. That's real important. My name's Deborah Dickson. I'm the host of Our Voices, and I want to wish you a prosperous and joyous holiday season. Enjoy your family, enjoy the time with your family, and really think about those that are less fortunate than you. Absolutely. Reach back, touch somebody. You can be a help to somebody. One little thing that you do, maybe you might smile at somebody today, and that would really help. Thank you. This is Deborah, VCAT TV, Channel 27, Mondays and Fridays at 6 p.m. Please take a look. Listen.